Good afternoon. Actually, it's morning. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is your host, Christopher Michael Curtis Bowen, on another edition of Fire for Liberty, where we're creating. Well, not just creating, but living in and accelerating even faster the Renaissance and historical. It's amazing how simply the accelerated pace of what was not only a Type 1 civilization, which is great, will, and therefore, in a sense, create Type 1, Type 2, Type 3, and therefore, we are a Type 5 civilization. So let's do something that's much more creative, faster, and ultimately, for instance, a co-creative factor that is the very essence of what could be an accelerated process. So for instance, so let's break it down, but what I'm really just breaking down is what is the type of facilitation for what already exists. So basically we are in a Type 5 civilization. So now let's manifest what is bigger is a Type 6. Now, the manifestation of and just the presence of the omniverse, the universe is incredibly, amazingly huge, massive, vast, and of course that, which actually I've already written down, the expansiveness of what is the imaginary space-time versus but the imaginary space-time, and then parallel is the ordinary space-time. It's actually how spacecraft travel. But anyway, Type 6 civilization, let's describe that. We already know what Type 5 is, so to manifest this Type 6 is already there. What some of the amazing things is the instant ability to shape actually all the five, which is grand, but the use of it, the ability, and why, in a sense, kind of to use the English word purpose, is to create multiples. So we have the essence of which is in a sense the essence. We have the essence of the first through 5, and then we build the 6th dimension, and then, not dimension, excuse me. Well, even though this actually the Severe Being Alliance is involved in this wonderful fruition of Paradise on Earth. Not just the addition, but the creation. The purpose of a Type 6 civilization can be, will be, is, and renovates, innovates, and co-creates. Full-bodied excellence, acceleration. We probably would say determination. Well, the good thing is, well, not just one of the good things, but many good things is, I'm already designing once again, a better, faster form of transportation. Of course, it's more peaceful. There's tons and tons of, well, excuse my French, but, or in my analogy that I use different words, but let's use a different word. There is a plentiful amount of understanding for the. I'm really skipping a lot of complicated science here. And I've already described this before. Ultimately the field, the HHO plasma that exists around the spacecraft is a shield. Well, not a shield, but in a sense, a field that accelerates it through the electromagnetic generators, which vibrate the very metal, or it's an alloy. It's a combination of. It's a combination of many alloys. It's also created. So the very metal, which is what I found out. You can use. Okay, let's start from this point. Phonon resonance. You can just do the vibration, which is like 35,000. I'm just going from the top of my head. 35,000. Alright. Hold on 1 second. Yeah. 38, excuse me. 38,000, at least for a certain element. 38,000, let's use this example at least. 38,000 plus almost 39,000 to vibrate, you vibrate that element, and then at the resonance and with the proper temperature, with the temperature of that, then it molds into other atoms. So in a sense, you create from the vibration. That was very, very quick crystallization. So that substance is what is the type of alloys that go into the spacecraft. So the spacecraft is a combination of many different alloys, and they're not necessarily. They can be made through the process that I just described, phonon resonance, and they can also be made through the mixture of these alloys. So through a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7-stage process. Sometimes it's just 5, and it could be done in just 5. But in this, let's call it 7. In the 7-stage process, you create the metal alloys that ultimately build the very shell. Ultimately, is the shell of the. So it builds not only the propulsion of the gravitic propulsion system, which is layers of metal, then mica, and then aluminum for invisibility purposes with high X-ray pulses. If you want to do that, so, and then those are together, combined, compressed, if you want to compress them. From that, I know tungsten carbide is a good, I guess, alloy to make it, but that's really just for diamond, which is not as strong as the combination of the metal alloys of the very structure of this spacecraft, which of a spacecraft vessel, and of course these could be, it's unlimited the amount of size that you can have for this craft. So the craft shell, in a sense, is there so that the resonance for the very outer, well, let's focus on the outside now. For the very outer shell is to, I mean, and this is kind of the interesting thing about the what's it called, Fibonacci frequency, and the frequency of the Earth, which is and the gravity constant is not constant, which is why we have the balance of 9 planets in our solar system, which we call a solar system, but and that's also why we have the importance of balance. Galactic sun, which we obviously love, and the central sun, which we obviously love, and the sun, our sun, Sol, SOL. So, I'm digressing a little bit, but it goes through as Simjaz. I'm pretty sure that's his name, but I'm gonna double verify. But obviously, clarified is the how to work on this, and that there actually are scientists that are developing this right now, which is very, very good. Developing the spacecraft, and here's the thing. Okay, Lockheed Martin and a lot of this information can be found, but the Lockheed Martin has already been working on this stuff for and the thing is that it's very interesting, and here's the truth: you don't necessarily need, well, and I've already reiterated this actually. Pretty sure, maybe not on the broadcast, but you don't need funds to create what has already been created. Because, okay, we have bases, huge, and the electromagnetic fusion propulsion generator was already made in I want to say the 40s and the 50s. Excuse me, or maybe excuse me. It was in the 70s, if I remember correctly, 70s and 80s. This kid was taken into the, after he created the electromagnetic fusion propulsion generator for the vessel that he put it in, and he put it in, and it basically it was very successful, and so he was presented, in a sense, this spacecraft. Well, he went through. There's so many. This building, this base, it was Area 51. It was in Nevada, something like that. And there's many more. But this is ultimately this should be, I think this should be well known. And then 2, all this stuff has been going on, and this has to be known once again. And then 3, it's kind of simple how easy it is to solve all the problems of the world. And then let's put it this way: there aren't any problems because there are grander solutions than what we can. There's even faster acceleration due to the very Type 6 civilization that we are in existence of, because of many, many factors, which I'm going to break down. Which I'm going to describe. And accelerate, of course, and manifest with will. So he built this generator. He was asked to build this other generator Long story short, there's a better way. There's a better way, which is very awesome. To build not only the spacecraft, which is already in essence of the base, which is already in existence, from many different extraterrestrials, which are positive, of course, and the human beings who are trying to create a positive result, creation, manifestation, and process that they were involved in at the time for the benefit of all. And not just all of humanity, but for all beings, all living creatures, all living things, everything, even the inanimate and the animate. And this is just one aspect, the transportation for that, which I've talked about a little bit before, I just touched on it, the transportation of what, for example, I call faster than light travel has already been in existence, and the great thing is that it's already in production and it's being manifested very quickly. And the very thing about phonon resonance is phonon resonance doesn't need the Babylonian money magic system. And that's ultimately, you don't need, well, let's describe it this way. Let me rephrase it and break it down. And well, let's just describe it as grandly and positively, co-creatively as possible. The phonon resonance, which I just described, can basically create elements. And so you can create elements, for example, that, which is very interesting because, and I've always known this as very, very young, why is the periodic table incredibly small? One, it's because you can create elements that are, and it's said to be, in physics, there's quote unquote unstable isotopes because they can't keep their, and this is so clear. Well, isotopes can't keep their electrons because it's because the relation of the protons and the neutrons and the electrons, and it's just like the electrons go off. The ability is it's simple because it's temperature, it's the frequency, the hertz, the vibration of the atoms, and it's the element that you want. So whatever element, I'm really breaking this down very simply because when you look at the periodic table, you can see how things work. From metals to not alloys, obviously, but gases and etc. And we use these elements to fuel things, but you can create from the manifestation of that which already exists from that which you want. So to simplify this even more, the building 117, 118, 119, 120, 130, 140, 150, 160 for the atomic number, I'm saying, of these elements in a positive way that fuels the positivity to create. I mean, that's just one science. What I'm talking about specifically is that, for example, when it comes to transportation, and that's just one aspect. When it comes to transportation, there's much more efficient ways to utilize, to co-create. Now, the other thing is, if that can be used for transportation, why can't it be used for building? And that's what I've already described before. And very, very, very good, incredibly unique and very enlightening episode I did a while ago, when I was describing that thing at the time. Basically what we would call housing. So of course, when you have, for example, zero-point energy tools utilizing the ability to transfer and therefore build and therefore manifest the very co-creative expansiveness of the let's use this word, of the tool to elevate, you can build that which was already in the foundation, which was, for example, one, which is Venus Project, the houses which can withstand any type of natural disaster, literally, figuratively, metaphorically, and in any way, which is the grandest, one of the grandest solutions, which is just a stepping stone, just a smidgen, not to elevate what was already done before, which is very, very respected, very respected. So, boom, and there's a lot of and the wonderful thing is that we can interact with and this is already known, is you can already interact with for example, the 4D, fourth density, let's call it a fourth density reality. Well, because there are there are electroluminescent plasma beings that exists, and just look at Jupiter, just look at Saturn, those gas giants. The balance is always there. So, therefore, we're able to manifest this type of creation. The housing, which I've already described before, can be made out of not just the alloys which can make up the gravitational spacecraft that I just talked about, which we, I guess, commonly known as anti-gravity, but we can use that same type of alloy to create everything in the model, everything in the housing structure. So the one really great example, which I've mentioned before, is the Theeuben model. I'd mean to, of course, be very respectful of that planet and that civilization, because there were, and I say were as in past tense, because there's more golden planets in our galaxy. And we are so instrumental, because here's the thing. We are incredibly instrumental for the co-creation, of course, of these golden planets, which are, of course, just as Urander's transport to, wow, that's pretty cool, to that golden planet was there to be a very great, essence of therefore what we could be. So I go back to housing. The housing of not going back to housing, but reiterating for housing, the word housing. And of course, the pyramids built of the very science which is already understood by, for example, the Mayans and Incas, I've already described, in a sense, and accelerated which has already been accelerated to the point which is 2000. Well, if we were to put it in time, it's 2012, December 22. But anyway, the housing can be a really great, really good example is the egg-shaped buildings, which have the focal points due to the geometrical science of the oval shape is the type of, for example, when Urander went to planet, he noticed the when you look, you're able to look out from within the egg, which and there's multiples all over, and some of them were on their side, some of them are larger than others. The shape of these houses, and so his guide at the time was showing him how this planet was expressed. And also one key point is when there are 9. Were there only 9? Well, there were multiple ascended masters at the and they were glowing, the ascended masters at the very location to talk to Urander and basically communicate. Well, telepathically. Anyway, the point of the idea is just one example is the eggs, and that already exists in our solar system. So we can use that example to build which one I already described before, and for 2 we can build many different things. And this is what I want to go into. We can use geometrical shapes, which are kind of, attractive, from tetrahedrons to dodecahedrons to squares to spheres to triangles to pyramid shapes. 4-point, 5-point, 6-point, 7-point, 8-point, 9-point, 10-point pyramids. And we can use all these multiple materials out of all the elements, and we can literally create elements to do more things than what we already are able to know. Because one of the things about the periodic table, it's not definite, it's not set. All the elements that are on the periodic table, there's obviously a lot more elements. So therefore, those elements can be there's more elements that can be made. Therefore, there's more elements that can be utilized. You can use those elements to create different houses, and you create different effects, and then you create different effects, you create different realities, your responses different. So you got, and this is incredibly exciting, incredibly exciting, because what happens when you do, aluminum has a phonon resonance of a certain frequency. All right. Now imagine, and what you, for example, when you light energy, when energy is pulsated at this element, that element becomes invisible. Now, the exciting thing is, when you need less energy to create, so describing this even break it down. So what's exciting is not the fact that high X-ray pulses in aluminum makes the material invisible, and the material that, for example, that's wrapped around that material invisible, but the higher elements, for example, the higher atomic number of the element, which is, let's say, for example, which is it's probably true, but 150, and then just regular old visible light. No, even better. Regular infrared? Microwaves. Okay, microwaves. Regular microwaves hit the substance, and then it would have the same effect. Let's call it that, of invisibility. But it does more. Let's say, which is probably true, it creates a positive field of manifestation, like a replicator, which I've already described before, which basically is precursor engineering. Precursor engineering, which is, it's already been described. Also, location by location, tri-location, and the ability to be in multiple places at once. Locations, stargates, for example, it could be its own stargate, which then there are many stargates. That type of unity is super awesome. Self-sustaining. You can create its field that's self-sustaining, and it could be its own. You can discover more states of matter. So, which is the wonderful thing about a Type 6 civilization, is we can discover more types of matter. Which is what a Type civilization does. Which is awesome. The Type 1, Type 2, Type 3, Type 4, Type 5 can use all those elements, which for example are on the periodic table, and then some. The Type 6, the different types of matter, because we have 5. Well, there's more types of matter than 3. Solid, liquid, gas. There's plasma. Plasma field is the very propulsion system of transportation. Past tense, we used to use friction. A lot of friction, which is honestly, let's use, and I've already reiterated this, but I think it's important to mention the friction. Is a science in itself. The friction, for example, with wheels, with vibration, with sandpaper, or with the contact with any surface, is due to its state of matter. And that's kind of common sense, solid rubbing against solid, liquid rubbing against solid, solid against gas, gas against solid against liquid. But when you have plasma, it does all that. So when you do, let's describe like a fifth state of matter. Would be, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3. So 3 gas, and plasma combined would be, in a sense, like a ether. So we'll use, for example, that example of an ether to create a type of, let's call it a field for that. Let's call it a point, a beacon of, let's call it attraction for building. Let's call it a model for like an antenna, or like a motion, action, technical existence. So with this fifth state of matter, which actually already exists, it's like clay. Clay can be molded and shaped into a sculpture, like sculptures. Machiavelli. Excuse me, Michelangelo. Excuse me. But the building of these, for example, sculptures, are incredible essences of not just the creativity and the very smoothness of what exists on that structure, but the ability to manifest with the fifth state of matter, the transcendence of evolution ultimately. So that's what, in a sense, Type 6 civilization does. And that's why it's so clear, for example, with the photon belt that we already went through, or that we're going through and already went through, and all those energies are valid, or not only valid, but necessary in that process. So that's very, very good. It's incredible breakthrough. Like when it's so good. Every single being is excited about it, because every single being is a witness to this evolution on planet Earth, and because they know what's happening, and they see this birth in a wonderful, amazing, fantastic way. Because look at where we are in 2017, which is very, very key. Just to get some perspective, what is happening in the planet as a whole is not just the wonderful, great thing, which is, and this is why Agarthians are just jumping for joy, or they're just living, they're just incredibly happy, and incredibly enthusiastic, and incredibly patient, and incredibly just aware. And of course, the wisdom comes in handy. No pun intended. We are all accelerating and watching this beautiful process because we are transcending, which is happening faster. I kind of honestly, yeah, I knew this would happen. We surpassed the Agarthians, so that's a wonderful, incredible thing that we should be very proud of. We surpassed the Agarthians. We surpassed the Telosians. And we surpassed our family in our solar system on planet Earth, which is incredible, which is incredibly great. Now, our galactic family is even watching this happening, watching, observing, aware, interacting, and here, like on planet Earth, for example, with us, and are facilitating this process. Because this, of course, has never been done before. This level and this clarity of manifestation and this acceleration of manifestation. So we got, of course, we got multiple planets working. We got star systems. We have Mentarians, Bellatricians, Arcturians to Syrians and then some. And there's Ambassador Mika. I mean, thank you. Of course, I have a lot of respect for Mika. For Ambassador Mika. So this type of evolution, and just this freedom, this incredible liberty, freedom, prosperity, and just correspondence of acceleration of humanity is not able to be put in any type of, because we're already unlimited from the, what's it called? The 3 states of matter. So what this process is doing is literally leading the way just as a planet, so which is very, very good for learning, teaching experience. Now, what is incredible about the very process that we have been going through and the process of what we are teaching is the essence of the magnetism, which is a new level of magnetism for planet Earth, for, of course, all of creation. What is the next level of the, well, let's use the word, I guess, prosperity. Excuse me. As we lead through, because there's also, let me reiterate really quickly. There's also beings inside of the sun, because all celestial bodies are hollow. So I already said that before, but I'm gonna reiterate that. We can accelerate and with the light, and then therefore, as we move through, because the entire, for example, let's do this, which is already known, but the galaxy is also moving at very high speeds through the universe. So we are, like, in a sense, a transportation vessel that moves through the universe, for example, which is also expanding and moving. And, well, the word that we use is expanding, but English. So, which is, of course, I love. I mean, it's a great language. So we can lead with solutions that are provided with the 5th state of matter, 4th states of matter, of course, plasma is very key, and also with that correlation, with all those elements, which are more than those that exist on the, and they're ultimately unlimited, the amount of elements you can create. I mean, 200, 500, 1,000, 2,000. And that's the thing. That's the vibration of that. Body is an element. The vibration or the resonance of a phonon, phonon resonance is that which it is. The vibration. I'm enlightening myself. This is awesome. Oh my goodness, gosh, when you have a 2,000 atomic number, vibration of one atom, it can be all those elements at those temperatures. Whatever temperature. Because, oh my goodness, aluminum has a certain temperature to get to silver, which has a certain temperature to manifest into gold, which has a certain temperature to manifest into platinum. So it is a acceleration. So here's a wonderful thing about physical creates, which is such an awesome opportunity to be in the physical. Physical, and I'm so grateful, obviously. The physical is a essential essence of the, let's call it a flick. The flick of the potential. That's a science. This field, which every human being has, the auric field, let's go back to that, which I already reiterated. Auric field, it's got the BAM of the transcendence. So what I'm basically saying is the one element, one atom, which exists, which we'll call it which I've already reiterated, but the diamond, heart center, is that, and we call it diamond because, in a sense, that's what diamond is, which is made from tungsten carbide, which can be created to create the materials which are already created, which creates the creation of creation, which was the result of the Type 5 civilization, but whereas Type 6 civilization in existence, therefore accelerating the Type 6 civilization into something that is the vibration, the back and forth, is the Type 7 civilization. There's Type 7, there's 7th density beings and 6th density beings and 5th density beings, for example, that are already in existence on the planet Venus. So that light is shining with us. I use the word light because that is a type of communication and a type of correspondence. Actually, it's more of a correlation. So that's Type 6 civilization, with the help, of course, of 7th density beings, because they're very key in this very growth which has been going through in our time of billions of years, which we call time, which is relative. Anyway, the type of communication that happens with those, with, of course, the 7th density and this Type 7 civilization, therefore kind of elevates all of creation because of the very solar system that we exist in, with the balance of Mercury, Neptune, Pluto, Saturn, Mars. The asteroid belt is very key. I have a lot of respect for Maldek. I have a lot of respect for Maldek. I honor Maldek. I really do. And I honor Mars. So it's not necessarily. It could be forgiveness, which is a very interesting thing. Forgiveness for the ICC. And not just the ICC, but the Earth Alliance, because this beautiful process is so special. The unity that already exists, which is already in existence, of course, is not just because we understand, and we have been doing it, and so therefore we understand. We mine gold, we mine oil, and we mine natural gases and methane, and we mine on these asteroids that exist in the asteroid belt, which used to be Maldek. And so that's the physical. In a sense, that's what is like a reason to make and sustain what was a very, and is, well, it is a very beautiful trading process, which actually does occur because Earth is actually towards the, we're a gas station in a sense. Well, our solar system is near the edge of the galaxy, and we're like a gas station, or not a gas station, not even a border, but we're like we're one of the very points where other galaxies come through to trade and to go through our galaxy and to like a let's call it a toll booth. Very interesting word of choice, but a toll booth, like for because we're on the outer edge of the galaxy. A toll booth for other civilizations and beings to pass through, other extraterrestrials. We call them extraterrestrials. Well, that's a word that is used for these beautiful beings, which are a family. So they're going through, and we have very, very grand. The ICC, these very grand expansiveness, co-creative things are selling, basically trading or bartering spacecraft and advanced technology, etc., etc., etc. So, and that's one of the places is Mars. It's happening on Mars. We're gonna have a lot more updates on Mars. We're gonna have a lot more updates about what happens in our solar system, and that's what's supposed to happen. Of course, that's a good thing. We should know about the current events. The current events, no pun intended. So, the unique thing is the combination of all those, not just planets, but the ICC and the Earth Alliance and Solar Guardian, etc., 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 and Sphere Bang Alliance, are very keen instrument, and the Andromeda Council and the Galactic Federation of Planets and the Galactic Federation. Excuse me, or maybe it's and the Galactic Council, and the beings of light beings, the co-creative beings that are involved with Star Nations. There we go, Star Nations. Excuse me. Star Nations. This is beautiful. As a member. Oh my goodness. I am so happy, dude. We are a member of Star Nations. Oh, that's so cool. That is so cool. Oh, that is so awesome. We're a member of Star Nations. That is so awesome. All right. Grand celebration. No pun intended. All right. So, going back to, I'm super happy about that. That's huge. Star Nations, a member of Star Nations. Holy cow. I wanted that on my I really wanted to be a part of Star Nations, and now I'm a part of Star Nations, and we're a member, and this is so beautiful. I just wanted to say that. So, honor Maldek, honor Mars, build Venus, and build Mercury. On the this meridian, the meridian of Mercury. Let's Pluto, this very large sphere, biospheres, which are basically already been created. Those are going to be instrumental in balance, and let's also function with the. Let's function. Let's do the 9. The 9 suns surrounding this sun, the 9 stars surrounding the star, are going to be in function with the type of galactic expansion of light. So we're going to use the 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th states of matter, and we're also going to use the building ability of a type 5 civilization, combined with the manifestation of what really exists in the type 6 civilization. So type 7 civilization is that, of course, which uses type 1, type 2, type 3, type 4, type 5, type 6, and type 7 is, in essence, of the very type of beings which are there to watch me evolve in the process. So we are able to, since we're able to shine because of that very quick manifestation process that happened, we can be clairvoyant as a physical being, even more clairvoyant than what is and still is a very key mission, a very key goal, and a very key mindset of being a crystal being. Because we are supposed to be crystal beings because of our carbon silicone structure is developing into, all made of crystal, because, feet through head through feet, body through the heart resonance, and then sun, galactic central sun, the central sun, the stars that heal, create light and shine, crystals. We're supposed to have a crystal body, but we're accelerating the process as the very beings, which are the creation source of that result, which is there for the acceleration. Because, for example, the children that come from, which we have, of the actor, like our star seeds. There we go. That's the word. Star seeds. Star seeds are star seeds. Star childs, indigo children, violet children, violet adults, violet children, violet seeds. Let's call it that. Rainbow children and crystal children are a very, very beautiful, and we are here, and they're there, and then we're able to manifest, create, co-create, and be. So we are, in a sense, already here of that which is already the result of that which we're, because what we accomplish, and this is a huge accomplishment, and so now I'm not also going to reiterate the importance of celebration. We accomplish what was originally planned. Like, for example, the divine plan. The plan was, for example, to do all the things that we were, that was in the divine plan as a crystal being. So we're doing that in the physical, which is incredible. Incredibly fast. That is so huge and so grand. The universe is amazed and witnesses what is resulting on planet Earth, because the archangels are a very, very key part of this process. Their breath, their being, their essence, their everything. this is happening once again incredibly fast. That is a very, 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 very grand cause for celebration. And I am, of course. The grand thing is it's so key. It's so beautiful. This type of evolution, it is so magnificent, incredibly majestic, and incredibly fascinating, incredibly fantastic, incredibly beautiful. So the sun is so proud. The glow of the sun that shines, the ability of uniting and the acceleration of exciting, of building, of manifesting. Every single process of that is ignited in a positive way through the very intention of ignition of the very process of what is the accelerated crystal being, which is the accelerated crystal being. Here's the thing, we already know that we're crystal beings and we therefore exist as what we are to become, which already reiterated, we are that which we are to become crystal beings, which we are right now because of the carbon structure of our cells, and etc. Cellular structure of our DNA, etc. Beautiful creation in the sense of manifestation. It's already reiterated. Type 8 civilization. Absolutely fantastic. Eclipse is, for example, one really, really beautiful thing is what we can balance with, which is the moon. Very, very, very grand balance, which has a very, very beautiful story in itself. The story and the eclipse and what it models, for example, is very beautiful in itself. The eclipse shape. So what the Type 8 civilization is an incredible eclipse, an incredible balance. So all of that. So let's use Halo as the example. The Halo is the Type 8. The Halo is the Type 8 plus a Type 9 civilization. So you got a Type 8 civilization is that crescent, top to bottom, bottom to top, top to bottom, bottom to top, of that creation in creation form. In a form. So it's a form. It's a form, but it's formless. That's what the 9th type of civilization is. Wow. That is so true. The Type 9 civilization is the complete of the Type 8 civilization. Wow. Because it's form, but creation is formless. So it is the form of, oh my goodness. It's the form of, wow. So having that form allows us to, the 9th civilization with the form of the 8th types of 8th civilization. Because once again, and just to describe it, you can't have the Type 1 without the Type 2, Type 3, Type 4, Type 5. You have the Type 5, which has the Type 6, and the Type 6 is builds the Type 7, which is unique and in sight of the Type 8 and Type 9, which are formless and form. Formless and form. Wow! So, formless and form. That's this great celebration. And now, just that energy that results from this celebration is the resonance, the phonon resonance. See what I did there? The phonon resonance of Type 10 civilization. This is your host, Christopher Makotis Bowen, on this edition of Fire of Liberty, and I always have, always will, always am, always can, and always shall. Always have been. co-creating, and I love you all. Good afternoon.